Is your new internet working?
Are we in?
I think so.
Okay, we're in.
It's all up to your internet to carry us.
Everything's good. I think it's working. Yay!
Dano didn't fuck up this week.
Didn't
Let's
fuck
go.
up this week.
Good job, Dano.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Just Got Off podcast. It's Sunday. It's 8 o'clock. You know what time it is.
Yeah. It is March 31st, episode 16. This is a special episode. If anybody can't see already, if you're in the audio version, you're missing out. But if you are
they
watching
really
this
though?
live tonight, huh? Oh, yeah, dude. We have all kinds of cool effects that we put into this. We work our ass off, and we do all kinds of dumb things in these video cameras that people just will never see.
Yeah, bastards.
Yeah, they're not going to see Justin's phone fall down like it's already fell down a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
So, but no, everybody, welcome our special guest, longtime buddy Justin Peck, man. Like, we go back a long ways, back to before he could even grow facial hair on his face, and I think probably before I could grow facial hair on mine. So, yeah, welcome back, Justin.
Hey, thank you. Yes, I'm glad you guys had me on. But yeah, I just wanted to say I do remember the first time we started hanging out, man. You did have like a little bit of a stash going. It might have been a little bit more of a beater stash, but it was, it's pretty close.
It's not fair. You caught me when I'm off. I'm still recouping from my fucking
the Spanish chicken flu.
Pneumonia. My pneumonia.
Not pneumonia. It's not pneumonia. It's Spanish chicken flu.
Whatever. Daniel, I'll send you a monster if you can even spell pneumonia right now without looking at your computer.
P-N-E-U-M-O-N-I-A.
All right, well, fuck me then. All right, end of the episode.
You'll be a monster, bitch. Shut it off. I'm done. That's it.
That's okay. I got some more trivia for you later. So, today is Easter Sunday. We're going to do our national holidays. Today is also Crayola Crown Day. I know a few girls that are sponsored by them. I
know a few people that eat Crayola crayons.
Are you talking about your sister again?
Hey, listen.
Hey, I'm just saying. But
got nothing to do with this. You leave her out of it.
Today is National Tater Day. Not tater tot, just National Tater Day.
Potato, boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
And then I'll tell you what, Justin said he had some of these in his car as he was rushing to get on the episode. He said he has today is National Baked Ham Day.
Oh,
But this is National Baked Ham with pineapple. Did it have pineapples on it?
As a matter of fact, it did. My mom always throws pineapples on the outside.
Yeah, you got to, man.
I'm
Got
not
to
a
base
fan
that
of
shit in Coke.
I like ham. I like pineapple, but I don't like ham and pineapple together.
You don't like them together? That's bullshit.
No, I don't. It's just like ham and pineapple on pizza. Keep that shit off, dude.
Nah, on pizza, no way. But I'm telling you,
See?
together.
See, okay, now listen, yeah. So that was going to be my very first question for you, but you answered it already. You're a good man. You just went up a little bit. I haven't met you in person. This is the first time you and I have talked. You just went up a little bit. I'm just saying.
Dano is a pizza connoisseur, man. He is a pizza connoisseur, so he takes it serious.
When I went to Australia, that's like everybody there eats pineapple and ham pizza. Like they love the Hawaiian pizza, and I could not get behind it. So like we'd go to the racetrack, and most of the time they sell like slices of pizza or whatever, and I'd come up, hey, you got any peas? No, we don't have any of that. You got any sausage? No. You got pepperoni? No. Well, what do you have? I have ham and pineapple. I'll take it. Then I'm just picking them off as I'm walking back to the trailer. Like, you won't catch me dead. No.
See, we always talk about how my dad was a cheap ass when I was growing up because my mom and dad love ham and pineapple pizza, and there was a little pizza place down the road here in Milroy, and they would always get that pizza, and I'm like, guys, can you just please get me like a personal pan, like cheese pizza, just something plain, like, and they're like, no, you can pick the pineapples off. No, because I can still taste the pineapple juice on that shit. I don't want it. Being a cheap ass and just buy me a cheese pizza.
Here we go again.
Yeah,
fifth time that story's been told on this podcast. You think he's traumatized by it?
Oh yeah, it's just like you and the postal service.
That's true. I mention the post office every episode, though. Don't get me started.
Yeah.
Don't fucking wind it out, dude. So yeah. What do you say? Easter Sunday, Crayola Crayon Day, National Tater Day, and National Baked Ham with Pineapple Day. Right? Is that all of them?
Yeah.
Let me look.
I think so. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Cool.
I had 4 of them. There was a little bonus in there. I usually do 3 of them.
God, all the work you make me do.
You're all right. Hopefully you did your homework for the next subject, because on top of our national holidays, Dano's a big history buff too. So one of the things he does is on this day in history. So he goes back on today's date, March 31st, all the way back to when Adam and Eve were doing whatever the fuck they were doing, and he goes all the way up to modern day.
Eating bad apples.
Eating bad apples. There we go.
What did I say? It's not Adam and Eve. It's Adam and Steve the other day.
Yeah.
I don't remember what we were talking about, but weird. We were in the indie chat, weren't we?
Yeah.
Poor
There's
John,
all
man.
kinds of
He's
different.
coughing his
Man, I
fucking
know.
ass off over there.
Yeah, you're gonna see me losing lungs over to the right side, but you're not gonna hear it. I've got my stream deck working tonight, so I can mute my mic, so I'm not interrupting everybody.
Yeah, and John is in control of sound effects tonight. I don't have any.
Yeah, I'm sitting here sweating because I can't get this shit up out of my lungs, dude. It's terrible. Yeah.
All right, so if you're just tuning in, the guy in the center is Justin Peck, one of John's good friends, and wing sprint car driver on, I think, 2 or 3 national tours you hit pretty frequently?
Yeah, high limit full time, and then we do run quite a bit of the outlaw stuff, all the crown jewel races and stuff like that.
Cool. Well, we appreciate you coming on, Justin. If you're looking at the little thing there on the screen, I'll pop it up here. I believe your girlfriend's name is Alex, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the comparison is pretty good.
I'd say it's pretty spot on. I like it.
I don't know if she gave us permission, but I mean, you're more than welcome to use the picture that I found on her Facebook, and then her Funko Pop that we did as well. So,
well, she hasn't given me the intellectual and property permissions to use her likeness on the podcast.
He's getting it now.
She just gave it.
We're good. We're clear.
Oh, we got.
You could actually probably just put his Funko Pop in between me and him, and then put her in between you and her.
All right,
you and him.
I'm going to find this shit right now.
That's one of the things that we're gonna do to everybody that we have as a guest on here is we just create a Funko Pop of them.
All the comments.
But it's pretty funny. I like it.
Oh, that's hilarious. We have. I signed mine for John's mom, and John signed mine when he was here.
Yeah, I signed mine for my mom too. My mom's got a couple of them. She actually has somebody that plays in a band as well that had a Funko Pop made after them, and bought one, and they signed it for her. And then, yeah, like Dano said, he ordered 2 of them when we made them, and then we went ahead and did that and signed them.
Why can't I find this shit?
Yeah.
Was it on your page, John?
I sent it to you in Messenger.
Oh yeah, you did, didn't you? Got to fucking switch back.
You'd be all right. You want to go ahead with your in this day in history while you're kind of thumbing around on that?
Well, I can't do 2 things at once. So, Justin, tell us
he's
a
not
little
that
bit about
talented.
yourself. Like, where are you from? What do you like to do for
Yeah, go ahead.
fun?
Well, so I'm 25 years old, and from Monrovia, Indiana. That's pretty much where I was raised. That's where my parents still live. Now I live in Brownsburg, Indiana. Last couple years, I was out in Pennsylvania living at the 13 race shop for the most part, and just going racing and stuff like that. So over the winter time, we kind of knew we were gonna go chase more or less than just kind of race around Pennsylvania, which is for the most part what we did last year. I mean, we did travel quite a bit, but anyway, so decided it was time to move back home, and moved back to my parents' house for about a week. Went to Australia, came back, was there for about another week, and then went and raced for a month and a half, and now I live in Brownsburg.
That's awesome. So I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you because it's kind of a big topic right now with the All Stars getting bought out and kind of, I guess, withering away. The 2 that are left out are obviously the World of Outlaws and the High Limit Series. Everybody's kind of swinging ship and doing one thing or the other. What was some? I mean, I'm sure you guys had some business meetings when you guys sat down with your team to kind of iron out on what is best for your guys' team on which series you guys are going to want to run with. What was your guys' biggest factors on wanting to choose the High Limit Series?
Well, it honestly, there was a point where we were pretty sure we were going to go run the Outlaws this year, and just through, at least on, Tom Booth, my car owner's side of stuff, he was more or less the one, obviously, that was, in communications with each series, and going back and forth and trying to figure out what was going to be best for our team as a whole. And then ultimately, we kind of settled on the High Limit stuff just because, it pays well, right? It pays well. The Outlaw stuff pays well too, but we just kind of felt like we could go chase the High Limit stuff, and then you still have the freedom to kind of go do what you want to do outside of just those 60 races they have scheduled for their full timers. And then, on top of that, you still get to go run all the big crown jewel races that everyone wants to run. And if you're an outlaw, you get to go run those crown jewel races, but then you don't necessarily have the opportunity to go run the big High Limit stuff. And so for us, we decided it was best to go kind of chase the money with the High Limit stuff, and then we still had the opportunity to go run all the big money stuff for the Outlaws.
Right, and I feel like that's why a lot of the guys went with the High Limit Series, because as a racer, you want to race, and like with Kyle Larson and Brad Sweet, mainly Kyle Larson, he wants to race as much as possible, like as many times as he can, and I'm sure he doesn't take it lightly when people tell him, no, you're not allowed to go race here. So from what I hear, I don't know the ins and outs of it and the rules and stuff. If you are a full-time outlaw, what they're allowing you to do, to not to do. I guess that's political part of it that I've just never really got in, but that's what I've heard. But if the High Limit Series don't have that, then it offers you guys way more opportunities to get your ass in the seat more, and if you're doing this like you for a living, that's more opportunity for money to make that you guys can do for the whole year,
Yeah, and I guess, like more or less with the outlaw stuff, it's, you have I think it was 88 races or 86 races, whatever their full schedule was, but then you're allowed, say, 4 shows outside of that that you can use as freebies, I guess you could say, and then if you go over that, you give up I call it a loyalty bonus. I forget exactly what the proper terminology is, but
Sure.
It's basically a loyalty bonus. And then you're still, if you run 5 to 9 races outside of the Outlaws, you're still eligible for the point fund money. But if you run those 4 less races outside the Outlaws, you're eligible for a loyalty bonus as well. So it just makes it tough to want to go race other races if you are a full-time outlaw outside of those 4, because you're giving up. Say you win the championship, I mean, you're giving up an extra $100,000 or whatever it is, to 150,000, whatever it is.
Right.
I think it's
So
called
what have you
the
noticed?
exclusivity bonus is what it's called.
There you go. Exclusivity.
There you go.
bonus.
Yeah. So I mean, what do you feel like the difference is in competition? I mean, do you feel like it's kind of leveled out? I mean, it's going to be tough either way you go. I mean, with the caliber of guys that are showing up at these tracks, it is the best of the best stuff. I mean, when you show up to these tracks with these guys, I mean, what do you have a different feel if you show up with the Outlaws versus the High Limit, or vice versa?
Not really. I mean, now, when it was All-Stars versus Outlaws, I definitely would say that the Outlaws had the All-Stars beat by a significant amount as far as depth of that top-tier caliber, team and drivers. But now, I mean, it's almost 50-50 in my opinion, because, I mean, just kind of the way I look at it, I mean, you have the last 2 All-Star winner, or the last 2 All-Star champions on the high limit stuff. You have the last 5
right.
Outlaw championships are on are on the high limit stuff, and then you throw in Kyle, and you throw in like McFadden's on the high limit stuff now, and you throw in your Brent Marks, and then you throw in the rest of the 17 full-timers or 16 full-timers we got, and it gets nitty-gritty right away. With the Outlaw stuff, I mean, they still have it. You still can't take it away. They still have a lot of their full-timers, and they're, badass race car drivers, and they have really good stuff. But I would say the competition field has leveled out between series now. You can't say it's always going to be like that in the future. This is High Limit's first full-time year of being a series, so it is going to eventually change hands at some point, whether it be, goes back heavy Outlaws or heavy High Limit, whatever it is. But, more guys are on touring series this year, I would say, than maybe last year or the year before. And it just draws a lot of hype and there's a lot more big shows throughout the country with the sprint car stuff.
Right. Yeah, and I figure you probably didn't give a shit either way, as long as the Miller Lite's cold at the end of the night, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I can't deny that, but it's hard to say.
Fuck no, it's in your T-shirts and everything, dude. Hell no, own that shit, dude. Well, that's why you're here, because we know that you like to have fun, and you're not all by it. Like I told you that before you got on here. Just shoot the shit, be yourself, and that's why you're here, because you're not reading off of a script. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's hard to say. In my opinion, it's just so hard to say which one is, say, better than the other. I really am happy with being on the high limit stuff, but I feel like with the World of Outlaws stuff, at least for me, and I would say most people are this way. I mean, if you are an open wheel race car driver, your main goal is to get to the World of Outlaw Tour,
right.
And definitely still want to get to that point, at some point in my career, but. I'd be willing to say that I'm pretty damn close now running the high limit stuff. And it's so new. I mean, it's not something that we've known about for 20 years. I mean, I'm 25 years old. It's not, World of Outlaws were there when I was born, way before I was born even, and the high limit stuff's so fresh. One day it'll be just, you'll say, oh, I want to go run high limit, just like people say they want to go run the Outlaws. But it's just new territory, and it's actually really cool to be a part of.
That's awesome. Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Well, that's a pretty good intro. We can talk some more here. We're going to have some fun with this episode. Dano's going to give us some this day in history. And then I've got a trivia game for you that we do with all of our guests, too. It's called Hose the Host. This can be between you and Dano. So,
yeah.
All right.
So I did find Alex's picture on the Facebook. So, unfortunately, it doesn't have a transparent background. I don't think, anyway, but... Holy crap, that's huge, John.
Well, don't say that too loud.
What the?
It's the first time John's
What
heard
did
that.
What did he say?
Where's it at? Yeah, here it is.
What did he say? Dang, wow, I can't believe that picture's that big.
Yeah. I mean,
There we go. We're getting into
blew
size
up pretty
here.
big. Yeah. Yeah, I mean we're up into our forehead. We're starting to size her down now. We're getting
bring
there.
her down off her pedestal here. All right, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
That's great. Let's put you
You
guys
can have
side
the
by side
fireball,
here.
right?
Oh yeah, a bystander told me that she needed to have a trophy girl appearance with some Fireball. So, and then I seen that she was a part of the High Limit series and the VP Race Fuel. So I went ahead and took and put those logos on her shirt and gave her the trophy.
The
and
likeness
then
here, the likeness here is ridiculous.
I had to add the Fireball bottle in there, but we're good.
That's perfect.
Oh man, you're immortalized.
We have fun
now.
with the Funko Pops.
Yeah, we do. It's great.
So.
All right. Anyway, our first segment of the night here is brought to you by Hedrick's Lawn and Landscaping. It is called This Day in History. Hedrick's Lawn and Landscaping proudly presents This Day in History. Ta-da. All right, so this is going to be educational, and the next time you're going 140 some odd friggin' miles an hour down the racetrack, you're going to be thinking about this stuff because you'll be like, damn, Dano's really smart.
He's my nerd friend, man.
Hey, man, proud of it, too. Like, God, it's dumb.
You always have to have that one nerd friend.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dano's mine.
Hey. In 1850, the U.S. population hit 23,191,876.
What year was that?
1850.
Oh, we skipped Adam and Eve big time. We're getting into her.
Yeah, we're getting into it. Honestly, there was like 7 things on my list of stuff that was really like borderline of whether it would be cool, but I think about whether John would recognize what I'm talking about or
Not
a
a fucking
normal
clue
human,
most of the
human
time, dude.
being. And I'm like, I'm all about like Louis the Seventh and like Henry the Eighth and like medieval times and Pope Benedict the Third and crap like that. John's just like, isn't that the guy that touches boys?
Y'all gotta quit talking shit when I'm coughing.
Hey man, listen, I'm just gonna talk shit the whole night, and he's dying. See, look, I'm trying to kill him. He's dying right now, Justin. There's the 2-time champ, Joey Paxson. Hello, everybody in chat. Keith Bradley, Rex, Nick, Mama Steed, Karina, Brandon. Thank you guys for coming. Make sure you wave and say hi to Justin because we're going to have some questions for him later.
Yeah, stick around because our just the tip topic later on is a question and answer for Justin. So anybody that's got anything, make sure you have them. And you can honestly start posting them here in the chat, and I can kind of write them down as we go. That way we don't lose our place, and we have some stuff built up when we get there. So if you got any questions for Justin that you'd like ask, go ahead and put them in the chat. I can get to them later on.
Yep, cool. We're all from Indiana, right? You're from Monrovia. I'm from Terre Haute. John's from somewhere in Amish country.
Oh yeah.
Not even on the map.
Dodging road apples, baby.
In 1880, the first town to claim to be completely illuminated by electric lighting was Wabash, Indiana.
Hell yeah.
We'll get some of that Edison's electric fire.
Wasn't Milroy because we're still on candles over here.
In 18, yeah, right. Yeah, his hamster out back, driving the little Amish-built wood wheel back there is what turns his computer on every day.
And that hamster's only out there because it's my kid's bedtime. Otherwise, she'd be out there right now.
We had a This Day in History thing about children and mines and stuff. You know that, right?
And for Minecraft?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number one selling game for like 20-something years straight was like Minecraft or something. Kids yearn for the mines. In 1889, Eiffel Tower officially opens in Paris, designed by Gustave Eiffel and built for the Exposition Universelle. At 300 meters high, it retains the record for the tallest man-made structure for 41 years.
That's pretty fucking huge for back then.
Mm-hmm.
He said almost 1,000 foot.
1906, Intercollegiate Athletic Association of the United States is founded to set rules in amateur sports. Anybody want to take a guess at what? In 1906. In 1910, it became something. 1910. I read that because I was looking at the dates. It actually became something. It had to do with March Madness. Do you know what it became? It became the NCAA.
Really?
My picks went to shit.
Mine too. I did okay on the
everybody in
Purdue game a couple
Indiana's
days
still
ago.
happy.
Yep.
Yeah, everybody's still happy about that. But dude, I watched that game today, and it's like
I
I
thought
might
they were
piss
gonna
some
blow
people
it.
off in the chat, but how do you as a 7'7", I think that's how tall that goober dick is.
Please say it.
How do you draw 18 fouls and only get one on yourself? How? Like, I mean,
don't know, dude.
I mean, they're literally treating him like Jesus on Easter Sunday.
It is Easter Sunday.
I know, but still, it's. I don't know, man. I
Give him the
watched
gift
it
of
and, like,
resurrection, I guess.
he's the softest big guy I've ever seen, and I mean he's right there at the rim, so everything is, you know, it's easy for him in some aspects, but he's so big that like nobody that guards him is allowed to be physical with him. Like there was one guy, like they had two guys that was in foul trouble that was, you know, had 3 or 4 fouls each, and they stuck somebody in there. He was a big old boy, and he was holding him up pretty good, you know, keeping the arm on him, keeping him from like pounding on him, and they called a foul. It's like he's got to do something, man. Like he's got to try and keep him out of the fucking.
He's so
paint.
slow, dude.
Yeah,
he's like
still just. But he's just so damn big that anybody that even tries to be physical with him and play ball with him, like they're not gonna be able to do that in the NBA. They're gonna pick a ball up and shove it down his fucking throat. Like, you know, I don't know. Go on. I'm real long on this.
Are you done?
I'm done.
In 1918, the first daylight savings time in the U.S. goes into effect. Stupid ass shit. Like, just keep us on the time we're on right now, please. Everybody call your senator. I like being able to play golf at night. You know, when I get off work, I like to be able to play 18 holes when I get off work. It's great.
Yeah.
This is right up your alley, John. 1923, the first dance marathon in New York City set a record of 27 hours straight with 6 partners.
Buddy, I move like an I move like an uncooked noodle, man.
That bullshit.
And when I move wrong, it makes a sound of uncooked pasta too. I fucking crack and pop all over the place.
Some more Indiana history out of Fort Wayne in 1925. WOWOAM began radio transmissions at 500 watts.
Nobody listen to that because it's AM radio.
Whoa.
Is there even a good radio station that's on AM?
Probably not. Most of it's just talk radio and shit now. Like they still have a broadcast of the Indy 500 that's on AM.
Really?
Yeah, it even sounds like it's on AM radio too.
Oh yeah, well, I mean that's about all you can do here in Indiana because you can't actually watch this shit. Quit blocking it out. Why are we still doing that? This is it's fucking 2023, well 2024 now, but we're still blocking out the Indy 500, so we can't watch it on TV.
I went last year, so it's cool. Wore this shirt actually.
I'd like to this year, but I don't know.
You don't have time. You got 3 kids, man. You can't do that fun shit anymore.
And Karina told me last year that I could this year, but it's just a matter of trying to get up at fucking 5 a.m. just to get in the track.
Yep.
Yeah. You're screwed if you don't get there right at dawn.
Yeah, that's what sucks.
1953, the U.S. Department of Health, Education, and Welfare was established. 1963, Los Angeles ends its streetcar service after 90 years. Little music history, right up my alley. 1967, the first time Jimi Hendrix burnt his guitar and his fingers at Finsbury Park Astoria Theatre in London. The guitar later sold at auction for nearly $500,000. That building is now a church.
His fingers?
Yeah, when he was doing the whole floating of the fire thing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Set his guitar on fire.
I know something now.
The New Zealand pirate radio station Pagaus started transmitting today in 1968. Lyndon B. Johnson authorized a troop surge in Vietnam, bringing the total number of U.S. soldiers to a peak of 549,500 in 1968. This is a sad day in history. In 1972, the official Beatles fan club closed down. So sad. Oh.
Why?
I don't know. Right, because they shot John Lennon. I have no idea. There's a lot of Beatles history went on today.
Jesus.
1994. This seems so far away to me. Probably doesn't for you guys because Not even this
Oh,
old.
it does.
John is, but
It does.
Justin's not. 1994, Chicago White Sox assigns former NBA superstar Michael Jordan to the Birmingham Barons of Class AA Southern League. Pro baseball,
See,
Michael Jordan.
Yeah, see, what a lot of people don't realize, including you, Dano, is Justin used to be a little fucking stud in baseball, too. He used to play a lot of baseball.
Used to.
Yeah.
Wish I still could.
Now, let me ask you, because I don't think I've ever asked you this, actually. Did you have any offers to go play on the collegiate level?
I never got far enough into it for that. I had some schools I was talking to go play and this and that. But I mean, for the most part, I was never really on my radar. So when it was like, hey, so and so wants to, you know what I mean? You get those letters in the mail. It's like so and so wants to talk to you and negotiate this, that, and it was kind of like, no.
Have you come to a workout? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you didn't go back that go to that path, because I'd much rather see you on a racetrack.
Yeah, I'll tell you one man that's really proud of you, regardless what you did or what you were gonna do, is that Dave Rose.
Oh, dude, I love Coach Rose, man.
I love Dave Rose. And Dano, if you don't know, Dave Rose used to be one of the officials in the TQ series when I was still running, and he was also a baseball coach. So he knew Justin pretty well and knew that he was doing the racing and knew that Justin and I were friends. So when I was racing, he was talking to me about Justin and all what he was doing.
Cool.
But Dave Rose is actually Pete Rose's brother.
Really?
And he was one of my
Pete Rose, yes.
Pete Rose, gambling Pete Rose.
Pete Rose. Yep.
Gotcha.
That is Pete Rose's brother, Dave. And
awesome.
he's a super good guy.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I love cool shit like that.
Yeah.
Dave's a great dude, man. He like I said, he was so I went to Mooresville High School, and he was one of our coaches at Mooresville. He was he coached first base and stuff when we were batting and stuff like that. But he was a great dude. I couldn't tell if he liked racing or baseball more, but he swung on both sides of the plate. You know what I'm saying? He did a little this and a little that.
I don't even know if he knew which one he was passionate about more. But yeah, if you could talk to him about baseball or racing, you'd be sitting there for a few hours. I mean, you could keep the conversation going. He was pretty passionate and has a deep love for both of them.
And originally, I knew him through Greg Staub. So Greg Staub and him were awesome buddies. You know what I mean? They ran around together all the time, and so then it was just a coincidence. I knew Greg and would go racing a little bit with Greg here and there, and just would go have lunch with him and stuff like that. And I ended up meeting this guy named Dave, and I was kind of like, oh, Dave Rose, oh, cool, whatever, And then next thing I know, he's my baseball coach and he's a buddy, and I'm thinking, what the hell just happened,
And I think that's how Dave got associated with the TQs, because at that time Greg Staub was our competition director for the Midwest TQ series. So I think he kind of pulled Dave in. But yeah, I remember the lunch trips too. I'd meet Dave and Greg both up there and go to that pit stop barbecue there in Brownsburg. So we spent a lot. We actually go up there in the mornings, and Dave would make us breakfast. He had his infamous waffles that he used to make up there all the time. So
that Kenyon midget that was sitting in there. Well, Eric Cottingham owned a pit stop, right? And then he owned that Kenyon midget as well. And I actually drove for him, and I was I believe I was the last person to drive that Kenyon midget that was in there before it got put in the, by the salad bar and stuff, because it still had Duracoat on it and all that stuff, and those were
still had your name on it. It still had your name on it.
Yep, it was good times.
Oh. Hell yeah! All right, what do you got next for us, Dano? Which ones?
Let's see. Where was I at? In 1996, the first time in MLB history, the regular season opens in March. Seattle Mariners beat the White Sox 3-2 in 12 innings. In 1998, Milwaukee becomes the first team since the inception of the American League in 1901 to switch Major League Baseball leagues. They lost their first game to the Atlanta Braves 2-1. That's what you get, you sons of bitches. Yeah, a lot of baseball shit going on.
Yeah, the opening day was Thursday, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Thursday or Friday. Damn, I should have used that hashtag. Baseball. MLB. Shit. Damn it. In 2001. I know, right? Can't be everything. Fuck. In 2001, German brothers Michael and Ralph Schumacher become the first siblings to share the front row of the grid in Formula One World Championship event.
Damn, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, hell yeah. right up some people's alley. Wade Fields. In 2021, New York State legalizes recreational use of marijuana in legislation signed by Governor Andrew Cuomo.
Nice.
Legal weed. It actually wasn't legal until like 18 months later, which is stupid. Let's see.
You know from experience.
What's that?
Do I know
said
from
you know from
experience?
experience.
You know, I do not. Contrary to popular belief, I've never been high in my life. I may be in a rock and roll band and, you know, do some shit, but I've never smoked weed.
Yeah.
One of these days I'll get high as shit. Great. I'll do it like Joe Rogan on my podcast or something.
Oh my God.
When we're
You'll be like,
huge.
it's actually not bad. When you put it in this certain cigar, it actually really tastes tastes like this, and it really has these floral notes to it. And it's like, shut the fuck up, we're getting high. Like, what are we talking about?
Do you know from experience?
I think everybody knows I know from experience.
And I don't mean to throw a bunch of dirt out. If you don't want to talk about this, it's cool. Let me know.
No,
but
I'm all good.
It is one of the topics that I thought would be very cool and inspirational for people that do go through low parts in their life, because I do remember Justin had actually got in trouble for that, I think, with one of the series or something. And
hey man, everybody fucks up, you know.
Yeah, dude, and it's way more fucking common in all them series than what people know and what people are getting caught. You know, they're just not getting caught. You know, that's all there is to it. But you know, that's one thing that I've always been proud of you for, because I mean, I talked to you some and was texting you back and forth whenever that happened, and telling you, just use it to build off of. Just fuck it. It's a little thing. Just get past it. Prove yourself. Be true to who you are, and you'll be fine. And I'm very proud of the young man that you are. You've got a great family behind you. I love them like they're my own. They've always accepted me as your own. And I've always been really proud of you, how you handled that whole situation and how you overcame that and where you're at today. Because I know how hard you guys have worked as a family. You know, your dad's a firefighter, your mom was a school teacher. It's not like you guys had like fat ass businesses that you were pulling from. I mean, you guys are a hard-working family that, worked your ass off to put you in the position that you're in, and you guys worked hard for that.
Yeah, thank you. Honestly, that was probably the hardest part, was disappointing the parents, you know what I mean, and disappointing the family through all that. But, really, like, and I'll still stand by this today, like, I don't believe that there's anything wrong with what I did, but there was a problem with the timing and the way that you go about it, you know what I mean? And it's just like, it's no different than like you get off of work and like you want to have a beer. Well, that's fine. You're not working. You're at home. It's whatever. But if you're not supposed to be doing it, then that's the problem that lies. And then, like, for me, like, the hardest part through all that was and I mean, I'll just be straight up about it. Like, dude, I was just getting high and doing whatever the fuck I wanted to do. And that, to a certain extent, you're like, oh, well, there's really nothing wrong with that. You want to do? Well, there is a problem with it. And it took me honestly, it took me probably a year after that to realize, like, I just got, I had to straighten up or whatever just because I had to do it. But I was pissed off and irritated about it, disgruntled, like, it's bullshit. Like, everybody smokes pot. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. Like, what the fuck is the problem? Well, really the problem is, it's like, well, you're not supposed to be doing that. And if you want to be doing this, if you want to go racing, we drug test, and you can't be doing that. And I'm thinking, well, what the fuck is wrong with that? I'm not I'm driving. Well, in reality, that's just kind of how life is, and you just have to accept that.
Kind of got to walk the line.
Yeah, and now, I mean, it definitely, once I've understood that, I mean, it's just maturity, I think, is really all it was, is realizing, like, okay, look, I got to be held at this standard or held to this certain accountability. And once you kind of understand that, it goes a lot further past that.
Right. And see, like, there's a lot of, me being a competition director now, there's a lot of, hey, are we going to do any drug testing and stuff? And it's a really hard gray area, because it's kind of like what you said. You get off work, you go have a beer. Some people want to smoke or whatever. Who am I to tell a person that they can't do that? Like, I don't give a shit what people do in their personal life. If we could do like a swab or a test that would test you right then and there. All I care about is you are not impaired at the track and while you're doing things like under our insurance and under our event. You know, like to test something for like a month out or whatever, I think is a little bizarre, because that's people are gonna do what they want in their free time, and that's their choice, that's their prerogative. But like, as long as they're not drunk or just under some serious drugs to where they're impaired while they're on the racetrack with other people that could risk the safety, then you know, I don't give a fuck. You know,
Yeah,
I'm there
sure
just to make sure everybody's, you know, safe.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a lot tougher too from like a competition director standpoint, because like you said, it's like, well, I really don't necessarily see an issue with you doing what you do in your fair time, or you know, in your spare time
Right.
or whatever. But it's also too like, if you say, hey, you can't do this and you can't do this, it's like, okay, well, if I want to go compete with them, I have to follow that set of guidelines. And
Right.
I guess that's kind of the hard part to understand. That, well, for me, I was 18 years old, you know what I mean, or 19 years old, and I'm thinking, fuck it, I know what I'm doing. I'm smartest person in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, well, that's
Everybody
really
has that
not
attitude at that age, you know. It's like, fuck it, I'm 18, I do what I want. You won't tell me. Blah.
Like, there are
Get the fuck
rules
out
you
of
do have to follow. Yeah.
But like I said, there's just such a gray area with the testing part of it, and just knowing how impaired is that person. You know, like there's just so many different variables to it that just doesn't make it feasible for me to interrupt on somebody's personal life. You know, I can tell. I've been around people long enough that, you know, I can tell if somebody's fucked up at a racetrack and if they're not acting themselves. I can look people in the eyes. I can read their eyes and how their pupils look and shit like that, and how they're handle themselves, their body, like, you know, I know these guys on a personal level and deal with them every week, so I can usually tell if there's going to be something off. So
Yeah. I think
there's no reason for me to add any issues and add more work for our people unless it's a serious problem.
Yeah, and I think honestly too, like, and this is a weird way to look at it, but like looking back on it too, like say, so I got in trouble and, you know, suspended for whatever, with 3 months or 2 months, or I don't even remember how long it was, but whatever the number was that I was suspended for. I mean, that's a long time to watch everybody else race and know that you're fucked, you know, and you're going through drug and alcohol classes and you're like,
burning your ass, dude.
Dude, and it's like, dude, I'm not a druggie. Like, why am I sitting through these classes with heroin addicts, and you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not
kind of puts things in perspective for you a little bit.
People that actually have a severe addiction, something that is severe that they're working with, that they're having problems putting it down, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I don't mean that in a negative way, but I just mean seriously, like, this person has an actual issue, like, and I'm sitting here like, man, I just had a little bit of pot. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of it too was like, you're getting ridiculed by a lot of people, and a lot of people are saying things, and like,
I've seen the comments.
You're just dealing with a lot of stuff, and it's like, it honestly like was fuel. At the end of the day, I almost was able to use it as fuel. Like, oh, this person thinks this and this about me. Well, I'll just go win a couple races and say, well, blow me, you know?
Yeah.
And that was honestly my mindset through the whole thing for years. I mean, it's not so much anymore, but I'm gonna say that happened in 2018. I'm gonna say up until probably last year. Last year was probably the first year I was like, that is not following me around anymore. Like, I finally feel like separated myself from this here, and now I want to be remembered for, you know, winning races and being a people's person, you know what I mean, a people's champion. I'm blessed to say, like, you know, I'm not I wasn't necessarily a rich kid growing up or anything like that. You know, my family did well and they supported me through thick and thin, but it wasn't like you could just necessarily buy your way to the top. You know, I take a lot of pride in that, like working with my family to kind of put me in the right position to where I could, you know, flourish with, you know, the proper equipment and the proper teams that I needed to be with to be successful. And a lot of that stemmed from just all those late nights in the shop, man, because I'm telling you what, I got in trouble. And for probably 2 weeks, I was really upset and like sad and kind of depressed about it. And then the rest of that time period until I was able to race again, I spent every single night in the shop, and whether I was actually working in there or not, or just sitting in there thinking about like life or where I was going to go from here. And it was midnight every night, you know, and at that point I was out of school. So I was going to work, coming home, race shop, and it'd be, like I said, midnight at least by the time I'd go inside. And whether I was working or not wasn't the point, but it was just time to like reflect and really get mentally prepared for the task that was at hand. So it honestly was a blessing in a certain aspect, you know, for my career.
it's just a switch of focus. I mean, it's your focus is literally it's putting it in front of you to, how bad do I want this? How hard am I willing to work to do this? But yeah, I understand what you were saying. About I don't think it was a disrespect thing at all. How you were saying about people who are truly struggling with that, because you had enough self control that you could put it down at any time, and it's one of those. You don't feel like you're a waste of time like to what they're doing, but in a sense you do, because it's one of those, it's like whoever's leading this class, their focus needs to be more on this person who is actually truly struggling with this addiction and actually needs some help. They're there for help, and they're like, and you're sitting there like, I don't need help. Like, I can do this myself. Please stop talking to me and talk to Jerry over here who's nodding out in the class. Like, he's the one that truly needs, I get what you're saying. It wasn't a disrespect thing. Addiction is real, and there are people out there that, are in situations like yours that have to do this because of certain classes, and I'm sure they feel the same way. They're, kind of annoyed with the fact that they have the self-control and they feel, I guess, kind of out of place.
Yeah, it was, like I said, honestly, I actually met a buddy. I say a buddy. I mean, I met a dude in there who is now a buddy, but he was in there, and he had like severe alcoholism, right? His name's David. But anyway, so David he was a severe alcoholic, and I met him in that class, and I sat next to him the first time I walked in, and he was like, "So what are you in here for?" So I tell him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, whatever." And I said, "So what are you in here for?" So he's telling me about it, and he's he relapsed since then. That was 5 years ago, but he's almost 3 years sober now.
That's awesome.
Nice, good for him.
It's kind of funny how that all ends up working out, because we kind of had that conversation just a couple months ago. It was kind of like, dude, what do you think some of those other guys that were in there? How do you think they're getting along? You know what I mean? It's almost it's a weird, like, you don't realize that shit's like real until you're in the middle of a bunch, like 100 of them, and you're going, holy shit, this is a real issue.
Right. Yeah. And it is. It's a real problem in the country, and sitting in that class that you were in, those classes aren't everywhere, and that's another downfall is. Some of those people that you were sitting in there, if it wasn't for that class, they'd be out on the streets, or they'd probably be dead or in jail, because they don't have a way to get help. They don't, they don't have a source to get help and talk to somebody and help them, point them on the straight and narrow and get them back on their feet. Some of them are just literally, as sad as it is, left for dead, and it sucks. But no, good shit. I think we spent enough time on that. I didn't want to dig too many skeletons up on you. I forgot to ask you. I was going to ask you if you were going to have an issue, discussing some of that, just because it was a low point. But I feel like you handled that adversity in your career and really just picked it up and ran with it, and have made something incredible for yourself.
Well, thank you.
Oh yeah. I'm just going to hit a couple birthdays here. Johann Sebastian Bach was born today.
Who the fuck is that guy?
In 1685.
Jesus.
Look up and see.
That's one old motherfucker.
That's one old asshole.
Was he in one of those classes too?
Yeah. Actually, he might have sat behind me now that I think about it.
I don't remember what. Let's see. He's got a composition called "Air on the G String," and we'll leave it at that. Composing.
Jesus Christ.
He's also probably a pervert,
He's
like
got
Bob Barker.
Coughing. Fuck, man.
Yeah, Payback's a bitch, John. Liz Claiborne was born today in 1929. Al Gore was born in 1948. Angus Young, Scottish rock guitarist from AC/DC,
I know
1955. Oh, that's Brian Johnson. Never mind. Ewan McGregor, we had this discussion earlier of how to say this dude's name. It's spelled E-W-A-N. He was Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Star Wars movie.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's 53 today, born in 71.
Damn.
And then tomorrow is Randy Orton's birthday, professional wrestler. He's 43. And Logan Paul was born in 1995. He turns 28 tomorrow.
I've seen a video. Yeah.
Who's Logan Paul?
I like that.
He's the brother of the guy that's going to get his fucking ass beat by Mike Tyson.
I can't wait, dude. I cannot wait. Like, that's going to be one of those races that no matter if they want me to Tech Motors that night or not, like, I'm in that race early so I can watch that happen. We're getting like some tracks for like they have intermissions and whatnot for fireworks. If we're still in the show, we're having an intermission and gonna figure out a way that we can broadcast that just to watch Jake Paul get his ass whipped.
I'll put it on the Discord
features
for
on
you.
track afterwards. Hell yeah, hell yeah.
We got a 15-minute delay here to make sure that the track prep is good to go.
Yeah, make a few more laps there, Fairboard. So.
Hell yeah. So don't save this document here. Let me. This is
You
Ben
need help?
Hedrick's Lawn and Landscaping's This Day in History. Hell yeah.
John's coughing up along over there.
Hey,
Yeah,
fucking
dude.
poor
If
guy,
anybody
dude.
can see me coughing and not hearing it, I'm getting over pneumonia. That's why we weren't live last week. Because I didn't even get the fuck out of bed last Sunday. I was in a fever and body aches and shit. And I was pretty much laid around Monday too, and then I finally went into the hospital.
I was
and-
texting him, and
I
then
don't
it
remember
got
much
to
of
be
that.
about 2 or 3 o'clock, and I looked at Steph. I said, "Do you think we should just cancel the podcast?" Because I hadn't heard from him in like 2 or 3 hours. You know,
Yeah,
he was
I was
like,
out.
I was like, "Hey, do you think we should cancel? How you feeling?" He was like, I didn't hear anything. I was left on Ghost, and fucking Stephanie had to message Karina and say, "What are we doing?" And she was like, "Just fucking cancel."
Yeah, it was not good, dude.
Poor
Like
guy,
I was
man, he's
not,
dead.
I was not doing good. Like I'm sweating right now. It sucks because I just keep coughing so hard.
That's what killed me was the sweating, man. That shit
Yeah,
sucked.
dude. You just can't get around it. There's no way to get around it. All
Hear
right,
those
so
little
what do we
pops
got
and
next
things
on
like
the
that.
list?
Those are people liking the podcast, by the way. So, the more you like it, the more you share it, the more we get seen, the more money we make, and the famouser we get. So we can sponsor people
Hell
like
yeah.
Justin Peck and make him go faster.
Yeah, dude. If you have space on the race car, we can send you stickers. I don't know what your guys' team's deal is on that, but if you would like to fly the colors for us, we'd be more than happy to send you some cool shit. So.
Yeah, we could probably work something out.
Speaking of some cool shit or chances at cool shit, this next topic here is called Hose the Host. I like to do this. I pull up some Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader questions,
Oh, God.
and we go back and forth. So the
Put
way
on your
this
thinking
works
cap,
is-
bitch. It's me versus you, race car driver. Let's go.
Oh, no.
So you're the guest. You'll get the first question. If you get it wrong, Dano has a chance to steal that point. If
All
Dano
right.
gets his question wrong, then you get a chance to steal it as well. And then I have 11 questions, so if we are tied, then there is a sudden death question where I ask it, and whoever's first to chime in, blah, 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 make a noise, like you can get the chance to answer that. We'll see if we
The
get
odds
there.
are with you because I am 0-1 and lost in sudden death last time we did this.
Yeah. So the way it works is we'll send you the Streamlabs are where we have all of our merch and stuff, and if you beat Dano, you can go on there and pick something out. And we'll send it to you.
All right.
So, all right, first question. Here we go. What continent boasts 6 countries cut by the equator? And it is multiple choice.
6 different countries cut by the equator?
Yes.
Okay.
It is North America, Asia, Europe, or Africa.
It's got to be Africa.
Ooh. He's got a point. Justin's got a point. All right,
All right, put that
Dano.
on the board, baby.
1 out of 10 ain't bad, buddy. That's okay. I also came from like 3 behind last time to almost win. I came from 3 behind to force a sudden
Yeah,
death.
he
so.
did. He did. He was down and came 3 back and forced a sudden death round and then got beat.
Whooped.
So, all right, Dano, your question. What kind of, and this one's right up your alley. Dano's a big golfer. What kind of animal correctly predicted who would win 8 World Cup matches in 2010?
What kind of animal?
Yes, predicted that who would win 8 World Cup matches in 2010.
I don't know. Fucking aardvark.
Are you gonna let me give you the multiple choice? Calm
Oh,
down
I didn't
there,
know it was
dog.
multiple choice. Sorry.
I stepped. Everything's
OBS
good
Studio.
on ours.
Reconnection thing.
Ooh.
Okay, that's cool.
internet farted.
There we go.
Okay, did you
Internet
hear,
coughed.
Did you hear the 4?
I did not hear the 4.
Okay, So again, the question is, what kind of animal correctly predicted who would win 8 World Cup matches in 2010? And the options are a dog, a pig, an octopus, or a chimpanzee.
Go with an octopus.
God dang, he got it right. I'm shocked.
Yes.
I thought for sure he was going to go with the chimp.
Steffi said chimp in the background, by the way.
Yeah.
She's back there somewhere.
So what's your knowledge on the anatomy of animals, Justin? Pretty good with some of that? Not very good. Okay, well, here we go. A dog's eye has how many eyelids? 1, 2, 3, or 4?
2.
Ooh. Uh-oh.
I think it's 3.
Oh, Dano with the steal.
Ding.
Stole it. Now we roll back into Dano's court for his question. How many points do all snowflakes have?
6.
Okay, well, I didn't even have to give it to him. He's got that one too. It is 3-1.
Yeah.
All right.
Get out to a lead here. That way you can chase the carrot on a stick. Every race car driver is faster when they're chasing carrots on sticks.
That's true.
Competitors in which sport? This is Justin's question. Competitors in which sport wear a mawashi? Judo, kickboxing, sumo, or karate? They wear a mawashi. That's what.
Can I phone a friend?
Don't fucking call me.
What would you do if I called you right now?
Well, I wouldn't be able to read your multiple choice anymore because it's on my phone.
All right, give me the 4 again.
Let me clear a lung. Hang on.
Somebody's smoking too much weed.
Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
I'll tell you. So the 4 options for competitors and which sport wear a mawashi is judo, kickboxing, sumo, and karate.
I have no idea. So I'm going to go with kickboxing.
Ooh. That is incorrect.
I'm going to say sumo.
God, Dano got it.
This is looking bad.
This is getting really bad. You better.
Put my balls up halfway through and just started rubbing the lip.
You're gonna have to start getting her going, baby. All right, Dano. Here's where your fucking run ends. I'm confident in it. What is the speed of light? Is it 286,272 miles per second? 84,272 miles per second, 186,272 miles per second, or 1.188 million miles per second?
Believe it is 186,272.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
Fuck yeah, fucking get some. Thanks, Frog. We were just talking about that like last month.
So we're gonna find out if Justin was a good kid with his toys and he knows the originations here. Legos come from what country? France, Russia, USA, or Denmark?
Denmark.
Ooh, he got it.
I gotta get a phone charger. Hang on.
Uh-oh. I knew it was coming.
Oh, welcome back.
That was quick, huh?
Didn't even get a Final Jeopardy in. God damn it.
Yeah, that's okay.
All right, we're golden.
All right, so Dano's question. How many rooms are there in the White House? 272, 32, 72, or 132?
72.
Wrong.
Damn.
Justin, did you hear the question? Okay, you need to hear the question or just a multiple choice?
Just the multiple choice.
272, 32, 72, and 132. And Dano answered 72. So that was incorrect.
Let's go 132.
Ooh,
Nice.
baby, he stole a point.
Nice. I went purely off of the amount of windows that are on the front of the White House.
He forgot about the whole fucking backyard.
No, listen. I went purely off of there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the left side, 8 on the right side. Multiply that times 2 stories, and it's 72.
Oh man,
That's good logic. I like.
Hey man, that's how I fucking passed high school.
So this is kind of a brand, like a clothing brand question for Justin. What is the animal that is featured on the logo of the clothing brand Lacoste? Do you know it already?
Give me the multiple choice.
Okay, yeah. A dolphin, a crow, a tiger, or a crocodile?
Crocodile.
Yes, sir.
I was gonna say an alligator, so I'm glad you said crocodile.
Yeah. All right, so Dano,
But
if you miss this question and Justin steals, it will tie you up and it will force a sudden death. So you have to get this question right in order to win.
This is what I love about this game. High drama. Right here on the Just Got Off podcast. I love it.
Which of these words is not a preposition? For, her, upon, and since.
Is not a preposition?
Correct.
Yeah.
You need it. You say you need them again?
Yeah, please.
Sorry.
Okay. For, upon, her, and since.
Since
Since I asked you the question.
since yesterday.
Yes.
Sense of smell.
No, not sense of smell. That's different.
Right.
Since with an S-I-N-C-E.
All right. Not a preposition?
Correct.
Her.
He got it.
Fuck yeah.
Now you're 1-1.
Now, Justin, can you name all the prepositions for an extra bonus point? Can you do all of them?
Of what you just said?
Just all of them.
No.
Can you recite?
Nope.
Dano, can you?
Of the question?
No, of all the prepositions there are.
I have no idea.
Really? God, I know all my prepositions.
You know what the
Aboard,
order of
about, above,
operations
across,
is?
after, aboard, about, above, across, after, against, along, among, around, at, behind, before, behind, below, beneath, beside, between, beyond, but by, down, during, except for, from, in, inside, to, like, near, of, off, on, out, outside, over, past, since, through, throughout, to, tour, under, underneath, with, within, throughout, through, tour, under, underneath, until, up, upon, with, within, without.
How the fuck did you remember all that?
I'm fucking leaving.
Shirley method, baby. That's when I was a kid. Let's go. We used to do them jingles all the time. You fuckers. I'll be your nerdy friend today, Dano. It's okay.
Yeah. I was saying, I think it's over. I don't nerd.
Bruh,
Point for
fucking
John.
listen. Like, what? Like, Jesus Christ. That shit didn't exist when I was a kid. Like, how do you expect me to know that? Like,
Let's go. See, my mom's in the chat. She remembers them too. Said I'm 55 and I still remember them. She said she was just reciting them to my dad. All right, just for fun, we're gonna go ahead and do the tiebreaker question.
you want to put some money on this one, Peck? You want to put? Okay, let's do this. Let's do a Just Got Off podcast sticker right on the front hood cal of your race car. For this question. If your sponsors will allow.
If I was the car owner, I would do that. I'll do
Okay.
it. I'll do it and ask for permission afterwards.
All right, cool.
It's
Deal.
easier to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission.
If your car owner says no, I won't hold you to it. But this should be fun. But if he says yeah, we're doing it.
All right.
Okay. So are we doing a sudden death or is this?
This is like a bonus bet type thing.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll read the question. You guys will shit your pants because you're going to be amazed at this word, and then I'll read the. If you need me to say it again, I will, but then I'll give you the multiple choice on it. What does? Are you ready, Dano?
Yeah.
I need for your brain to be able to try and process this. Okay, so what does a sphygmomanometer measure?
Sphygmomanometer.
Yep, sphygmomanometer. Sight, blood pressure, heart rate, or hearing?
Hearing.
Dano, what's your answer?
I'm gonna go with heart.
Double X's.
Damn.
Jesus.
So you guys knocked 50% of them out.
I don't even remember what the other two were. What were the other two options?
Sight and blood pressure.
Blood pressure, yeah.
I'm gonna guess sight.
No, you got that one wrong too.
Yeah, Steffi just goes blood pressure.
Yep, my mom said it too. She said, I know, blood pressure. Yep, a sphygmomanometer measures your blood pressure.
Schmiergen-Fiergenburger.
I'm not going to lie. I had to pull that one up on how it was even said and practice that one a little bit.
I would have never guessed.
Yeah.
I knew it. Yeah, Steffi just chimed in from the back and said, I knew it wasn't sight. And, like, she would have, if she knew that it was what that was, that's because that's what she does. She's a optometric technician. So,
and that's what I was going to say.
And I eliminated that. Yeah, she would have been like, oh, it's this.
It would have said something about optics or whatever. Yeah.
I guess that's true.
All right. Well,
I won.
Dano won.
Woo!
Damn. So he's 1-1 with our
1-1.
guests on here. We started that one last time.
Damn Logan Prickett. He's in college. His brain is fresh though.
Yeah, but there was some questions that he answered really dumb in there too. Like what was the loudest mammal or something? What is the loudest animal in the ocean?
Yeah.
And I told him he had to be specific. And he's like, a sperm whale. And it was right. And he's like, thank God for Purdue. And I'm like, they fucking teach that there? Like the loudest animal is a sperm whale? Like that's what I was so dumbfounded. I mean, he was so proud too.
On to the next topic here. We did something today that we usually don't do. This topic is, or question or segment is called Tradition versus New Edition. John, what do you usually eat for Easter dinner?
Well, I had a cold meat club sandwich today, but
okay,
like
if you get all the family together and like you're going big hurrah. Normally ham. All right, Justin, what do you usually eat?
Ham. Like today, we had ham, mac and cheese, deviled eggs, and salad. So that's pretty standard. That or some kind of potatoes instead of mac and cheese. It just changes.
Right. Yeah. So the general consensus, I think, is usually like ham for Easter. We did not have any ham today, and I fucking love ham. I don't give a shit if it's got pineapple on it or not. I'm gonna eat that stuff. Okay, I'm eating it. I love that. I'll eat it for a week straight. We had was that shit? Tortellini? Stuffed shells. Yeah. We had stuffed shells today with Alfredo and whatever, and red sauce and garlic bread and salad with Olive Garden croutons and Olive Garden dressing.
Hell yeah, dude!
So it was just kind of. Yeah, I mean, it was delicious. I mean, I usually don't eat like white Alfredo sauce or anything like that. And it was all homemade. Stephanie's brother-in-law, Frank, I swear to God, when he retires from the federal prison, if he doesn't open a restaurant, I'm going to fight his ass because I've never been disappointed with food going over to their house. Like, anytime I go there.
You said that.
Oh, my God, dude. Like, I came home and ate, like, one taco, and I'm just that was stupid because I just should have just let it go. I should have just not eaten at all.
I fucking love Alfredo shit. Like, last night, we went to it used to be called, it's actually called Tree City Brew now, and they have a fucking fire-ass baked chicken Alfredo there. And I load it up with Parmesan and pepper flakes and stuff, and it's fire, man. I love it. I told Karina I could eat that if you bring, because it comes out on like one of those aluminum pie pans. You know what I'm talking about? Like the aluminum to-go trays. Mm-hmm. You can bring me one of those every day, or of that or arroz con pollo from the Mexican joints, and I would absolutely be happy every day of my life. I don't care. Mix and match. Don't matter. I'm going to be thrilled. Tickle my pickle. I'm going to be pumped, dude. But yeah, I mean, we didn't go anywhere today. We hung out here with the kids. We're all, like I said, we're all still trying to get over being sick, and
Sure, yeah.
you know.
Well, what about like obviously like Thanksgiving is gonna be like turkey and stuff. Like, do you guys eat turkey at Thanksgiving, Justin? Like,
Yeah.
or is it?
We usually it's turkey and ham, just because I'm with a bunch of family members.
Right. Yeah. Same
So
here.
it's both.
And honestly, like my dad doesn't really like. My dad really doesn't like bird, so like he doesn't like chicken or turkey. So usually for Thanksgiving and Christmas,
which is wild, dude, because like chicken's pretty popular. I could see turkey. I know there's a lot of people that don't like turkey, but chicken's
well, my
pretty
dad
popular.
apparently had a terrible experience, like where he got food poisoning, like when he was in the military, from like something like chicken oriented, and like from that day on, he's like, I'm never eating fucking chicken again. And he'll tell you like, fuck. Yeah, it like fucked him up pretty bad, I guess. So, you know, but like Thanksgiving and Christmas, like we always get ham, you know, no matter what. And I mean, even shit, it could be fucking July 15th, and I'm like, Steffi, go to the store and get a ham. Like, I'm hungry. Then we got to go to Texas Roadhouse and get rolls and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's just kind of like untraditional, like Easter Sunday thing, you know. Like we went to Easter Sunday last year went to church, didn't we? Didn't we? I thought we did. No, we went sometime. We went for Christmas. That's what it was.
Steph is his wife, and she usually hangs out back there in that recliner behind him and just talks shit the whole episode to us. There's some clips
Steph,
I've made ever that I
Steph, wave your
posted on
hand.
our social media. Yeah, she just hangs out back there and watches Friends or Little House on the Prairie or whatever other black and white
Sweeps
show
the
there
floor.
is where half the fucking people are dead, you know?
Sweep the floor. Come back here, she's like, just, you know. when John and I first started really hanging out in Discord, they were convinced that that's all Stephanie did was sweep the floor, because every time every time she like Karina would walk in here, like Steffi's back here, like, you know, sweeping the floor, running the vacuum and shit. It was like every time we were sitting in Discord, Steph's sweeping the floor. Like, is that all she fucking does when she's at home?
Yeah.
We
were doing a Christmas episode and we were trying to figure out, like, he's like, man, I just don't know what to get Stephanie this year. I'm like, just get her a fucking Swiffer, dude. Like, get her a new broom. The bristles are probably about fucking wore out on that thing. She'd probably be pumped with that.
It's kind of sad she doesn't sweep as much as she
ride
used to.
Too. That's what she rides around town. So I mean, Jesus Christ, get her some new wheels.
You're gonna get punched in the face.
She won't do it live because I'll make another fucking clip of her. she doesn't learn.
Oh man, fuck. So yeah, cool. So we found a little bit more about ourselves right then, I think. In Stephanie's defense, she did sweep a lot because we had the cat, and he kind of like tracked cat. He's a long-haired cat, Maine Coon, so he kind of tracked cat litter around a little bit. Yeah. So she was constantly like sweeping up cat litter, and so did sweep a lot though. She doesn't near as much, and I miss my cat terribly. It sucks. I tripped over my shoes last night. I just tore all this stuff down and put all my sim rig and everything back together, and I backed up and I hit my shoes in a certain way that it made it feel like I was stepping on my cat. And my cat's been dead since like 2 weeks before Christmas. It was weird.
Yeah.
All right, this is one of my favorite segments. Justin, you're going to like this one. This one's called Would You Rather, and is sponsored by Murray's Automotive Detailing and Performance. Would You Rathers are brought to you by Murray's Automotive Detailing and Performance.
All right, so I'm going to do 3 Would You Rathers here for all of us, and then I've got 2 special ones for Justin there at the end.
You get your own segment, little guy.
Sweet.
Would you rather everyone be required to wear identical silver jumpsuits, or any time 2 people meet and are wearing identical article of clothing, they must fight to the death?
Whoa! I'm gonna go with fight to the death.
I'm gonna go fight to the death because it's not very often I see somebody wearing the same shit I'm wearing.
Right. There have been a lot of things like on TikTok or whatever, like during church services or whatever, like all the wives get together and like all the dudes are wearing this like one pink shirt from Target.
Yeah, no, it's like usually when they go. It's usually when they go on vacation or they have like the family gatherings. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
showing up to the
they'll have
airport or
them
whatever. Yeah.
wear the same fucking polo. They'll all go out the same night to go on vacation, and all the guys will come out and they'll walk in the meeting area, and everybody's just wearing the same blue polo or something. And we're like,
Could you
what the
imagine that?
fuck,
Like, yeah,
man?
like you go out to somebody's birthday dinner and all the guys show up wearing the same Callaway golf shirt and they don't
That's
know
how
the
it works.
rules. And then next
That's
thing you
where-
know, they're
yeah.
fighting to the death in the middle of a fucking Applebee's.
But that's how it
I
works.
specifically asked for no onions on my steak. God damn. They'd be like a real life version of what the hell is that movie you were just talking about? Fucking with the little doll that turns its head and they shoot you out of the game or whatever.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's on fucking Netflix.
Not Hunger Games.
Jesus
It's
Christ. Red light, green light.
yeah. Damn
Squid
it.
Games. Squid Games.
Squid Games. Yeah, Squid
Yeah,
Games.
there we go. Squid Games.
Damn it.
All right, so the next one. Would you rather get 10 mosquito bites or just get one bee sting?
I think I'd rather have one bee sting all day.
Yeah.
I
do
fucking hate
not
mosquito
like
bites,
bees.
dude.
Yeah, I'd absolutely fucking hate bees and wasps and shit, but I think I'd rather get the one bee sting than the 10 mosquito bites too. I swell up
that's
like a marshmallow in a microwave, dude.
Yeah.
Like that's what sucks. I'll just sit there and itch at it forever. Then I'm
I
all
play
raw.
I play guitar, and funny story. I was getting into my truck one time heading to a gig, and I set my shit inside the console of the truck, and like slid in and put my hand on top of the truck to kind of slide in, hold myself up and slide in. And when I did, I got stung in the middle of my fucking hand on my way to a gig. I have to fucking go play guitar in like 3 hours. It was like playing, like, imagine my hand being a fucking baseball, and then like this is the only part of my finger that's sticking out of the baseball. It was like I had two
Dude,
little
that would
1-inch
suck.
nubs. My fucking hand swelled up so bad it sucked really, really, really terribly.
Yeah, that would suck.
And I
Really
still
bad.
would prefer the bee sting than the fucking mosquito bites. I get them on my ankles real bad. There's Joe
Well,
Herbert.
You need to do like Dale Earnhardt did, then start fucking tying some kerosene-soaked rag around your ankles so them ants will quit crawling up your leg trying to eat your candy ass.
That's just because I'm so sweet, baby. I'm like Wolfpack. Too sweet. God, Hall, get off my nuts.
I'm trying not to cough. Come on, man.
That's gonna be more entertainment with John sitting over there coughing. You should have just left your mic on, man.
No,
How
dude,
many
I'm
coughs
sweating
did
so
John
fucking
do?
Bad. It's bad. You'd lose count. I don't even know if you can count that high.
What was the tally for my fucks?
Oh boy, you're gonna make me go into the.
In
Let's
the
see.
notepad.
Yeah, so Dano has a fetish with the fuck word. He likes to say
I like
that
the
a
fuck,
lot.
boy.
So when we had our 1 year anniversary, he was doing some cool shit, some cool numbers, how many minutes we've ever been live, how many seconds, how many episodes we've done, like we've done escape rooms and stuff together. Like we've done all kinds of cool shit, just kind of like to commemorate our 1 year. And he's like, I wonder how many times I've said fuck on the episodes. So
Listen
I
to
went
what
back
this
to
idiot did.
episode 1. I went back to episode 1. We are what is this, 56
60,
episodes
66.
in now?
66 episodes.
66. Okay, so I went back all the way to episode 1 and listened up to episode 52, which is a year of episodes, and counted fucks. I would tally them on the wall at work as I was listening, and I would count how many he did every episode all the way up until the last part. Would you like to guess out of 52 episodes how many times he said fuck?
Oh, 52 episodes. So you think I'm gonna go with 728.
Oh man. He said fuck 4,526 times in 52 episodes. With that number in mind, would you like to guess the single episode record?
I'm gonna go back to my 700 number.
Hey, fuck you,
Not
man.
that bad. Oh, one.
I'm gonna say 185 times.
254 back in episode 34.
Lord. How long are these episodes?
Well, dude, and they're only like an hour and a half. So we've hit a couple hours sometimes, but like he gets on tangents like he's not.
I'll just start going
comfortable at
off.
all, talking about like there was some road rage driving ones in that one. He does not like talking about snakes.
Oh, I hate
So like he'll be like, oh, fuck that fucking snake. I'm fucking, he'll drop like 10 of them within 30 seconds, pretty quick. Like when I'm in between cycles at work, I try to tally them on the wall.
I gotta go get my shirt. I'll be right back.
I'll be listening, and then I'll just be like, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'll tally them on the wall, and then the next cycle he'll be pissed off about something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fuck, I'm gonna be able to write these down on the wall. So, but yeah, he dropped 254 of them in one single episode, and I've got to go back and count again. But up until episode 52, there was 4,526, averaging 87 per episode.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the
I like
post
more
office.
than the next guy, but that's even like worse than I would do it.
Yeah, the post office. He's very sensitive about that.
So I am the fuckery king, and it's only right that I have a shirt where it says "fuck" right on the front.
But it's got like 3 different meanings. Dano designed this shirt, and then my wife and I made it. So my wife presses shirts and stuff back here. We do the DTFs, and we got a sublimation printer. We print stuff and make our own shirts and shit. But Dano designed that one. He can explain it.
So it's a 3-in-1. It just says "fuck" real big, and obviously it says from a distance, and obviously it says "boy" there at the bottom. So it's like "fuck boy," or it just goes "I'm fast as fuck boy."
Because he's got the fast as.
Yeah, it says "fast as" right there in the middle of the fuck. Yeah. So they brought that for me. They made that for me for the 1 year. It's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Okay.
You could have one for $26.95. Message the podcast page today.
Dude,
Poor John, man. I know your pain, dude. I was like that 3 weeks ago.
I just cannot stand it anymore. It's awful. All right,
need
last
to mic up Justin
would
for
you
a
rather.
race and count how many fucks he says. All right, we can do that.
I
I could put a recorder in your pocket.
Underneath the helmet?
No, not usually. If I do, I'm pretty fucking mad about something. There's
One.
like when I'm driving, though, but there was a loose video on Facebook. He has something posted up there. You probably have to scroll away because he posts a lot of like cool like GoPro shit. But we were at the Eldora Million last year, and I was running. I think I just fell to third in the heat race, and they were taking 3 to the show, to the $1 million race out of this heat race, and it was Macedo, Brent Marks, me, and then Hodenshield. We were 1, 2, 3, 4, and it was me and Marks and Hodenshield for like most of that race, just throwing haymakers at each other. Well, Marks and Hod and I all got together on the restart, and I drove away, but I stopped, and I'm like, they crashed in 4, and I stopped in turn 2, and I was just motherfucking everything and everybody, and I was like, you stupid motherfuckers. I was like, what the fuck are we trying to do here? I was like, we're racing for $1 million fucking dollars. I said, I guess to some people that just means drive like fucking idiots, doesn't it? And it was 5 or 10 minutes of me just screaming, and then after the fact, we're all talking, like after the race, we're all like talking like we're buddies again, but it's like, how it goes. You're so intense for that, like those 10 laps. It's like,
so you were already mad up to that point, because is this the same night in the same race that I seen a onboard video on where, like, on the grid they made everybody unbuckle and pull their fucking radios out to swap out the receivers and shit? And they were kind of rushing everybody. Like, you guys are already ready, already strapped in the car, ready to shove off. And then they did this deal where they come down through the pits so they could eliminate the spotter issue, which was fine, but fucking do that in the pits and don't waste everybody's time. But they came out there and made everybody unbuckle, and like some guys, even me, like would put their receiver down inside their suit, and then like they're rushing everybody to kind of get ready. And like, you were pretty pissed off about that. Like, you were apologetic to the guy, but I mean, if you're going to do that process, allow people the proper time to safely buckle back in and not be pushing people.
Yeah, so that we all got together in a heat race earlier in the day. And then that was, so like I ended up running second in that heat race. Well, then now I'm starting seventh. So now I start seventh in a race for $1 million. And I mean, you win that race, like I said, you win that race, that's $1 million check coming to you guys, you know, you and your team. So it's like, then we go to line up on the grid, and they do driver intros, and we like walked out in a smoke screen, and it was cool shit, right? Well, then we get in our car,
get all amped up.
And we're buckled in, and I'm like locked in, right? Teams walked away, like push trucks on you, like getting ready to push you off. And a guy comes over and goes, "Hey, you're gonna have to swap out your race receiver." I said, "Bud, my race receiver's in my pocket." I said, "I'm not fucking unbuckling." And he goes, "No, I need your race receiver." I said, "I just put fresh batteries in it. You can fuck off if you think I'm giving you my race receiver right now." You know, and like long story short, I did have to get fucking unbuckled, get that bitch out of my pocket, and give it to him. And then it was just a cluster.
Right. It is, and like they've started to do that here a lot more. They did it at the Chili Bowl this past year, like on one of the nights. And it's like, if you're going to do that, that's fine. Do it on the ramp.
Yes, exactly.
It's no different. It's no different than when they come up to the fucking fuel cells, pull their little sample, make sure it's the color they need to, and inject it back in there. Swap it out when their people are sitting there on the ramp. Not after we've spent 10 minutes, 15 minutes shoving everybody out on the track, getting them down the ramp, getting them all spaced out, getting trucks behind them. Now we got to wait 10 or 15 more minutes. Do it all in one process.
Well, it's a fucking safety thing too.
Time. Oh, yeah. Like I said, do it on the ramp, not when people are already buckled in. Some people can't buckle in. Like, you know, some people can't reach down, and I get there's a system. Like, when I was racing, my dad tightened my belts. I would get all my belts and all my shit on, but my dad had a handle that he pulled down and got my waist belt tight for me, you know, and then I locked down my shoulders. You know, if you have to completely undo all that, it's just a system that you fuck up, you know, for some people. That it's a checklist that people go through.
Yeah, and I don't want some fucking weirdo like in my car, you know, like in Justin's case, I'm fucking like getting ready to race for $1 million fucking dollars. I'm in the fucking zone. You know, I've played in front of 10,000 people. That's a different level of somebody's adrenaline and state of mind to where when somebody some weirdo named Steve who fucking drank, you know, too many Budweisers that day and had fucking oniony tacos for lunch sticks his fucking head in a cockpit of your race car, you don't trust that guy. You know, like, well, I would trust John to do my shit. You know what I mean?
And the problem was the guy came up like he was a fucking Walmart greeter that was telling you to put your mask on during the COVID times. Yeah. He doesn't want to do that job. They just assigned all these poor bastards this job to go up and start fucking with these drivers and telling them that they have to do this in order to race, and nobody understands what's going on.
Yeah, like, I just feel bad for the guy because I did kind of get into him a little bit, but and I knew, and I, you know, and as I'm doing it, I'm like, look, man, I'm not meaning to get on to you, but you understand what you're doing right now. Like, this is not the fucking time to be doing what you're doing. And like you said too, like luckily I have ratchet belts now, but for years I did the pull down lap belts, like you're talking about, and a lot of people still run those because it's just less point of failure, right? Like, what if the ratchet thing breaks? Like, okay, now your belts are loose. Well, that thing's not gonna fucking break. Like, yeah. So if I I'd had to say, okay, now you got to go get my guys from the trailer, tell them to get the lap belt puller, run all the way back onto the racetrack, which you're not gonna let them do because then you'll disqualify me. So now what do you now how do you handle the situation? You know?
Yeah.
There's too many goddamn variables for it not to be an issue at some point in time.
Yeah, that was a shit deal. I understand what they're doing. They're trying to eliminate the spotter process, and I don't think it's as big of an issue as what people were making it out to be. But it was definitely, you know, like, it definitely is a problem when you're interrupting the show and interrupting people's safety and whatnot.
So I know they do that for the spotter thing. So you're flying around, you're racing for $1 million at Eldora, Justin. Can you see a guy with an orange shirt that's 30 feet past the flag stand that tells you with a gap? He's got a bright ass fucking orange shirt on. Can you see that guy standing on the wall or 3 rows up in the stands if you know to look for him?
No, not really. I mean, I guess if I was looking, like, if you knew where to look, you could. It'd be about like looking at the scoreboard, right? Like, if you know where the scoreboard's at and you know the spot you have to be at to look at it, you can tell, like, oh, I'm seeing X, Y, Z. But Like for me, I've never done that. Like I've never looked at somebody under green. Like I can tell you, I will say this though. So like under yellow, like so when my dad and I were racing, like he would always like I knew where he would stand before, no matter what track it was, he'd tell me where he was going, so I could find him under the parade laps, and then he would be like, "Oh, you need to." Like when you had shock adjusters, like he
at the chili bowl.
Yeah, like he could say like, "Oh, you need to, do, we would have signs and stuff." I could see that, but if under green, I don't think I'd ever be able to see that.
Right.
Yeah.
Just the vibration from the
Eldora's
car. I mean,
probably
you're getting beat to fucking piss in one of them cars. It's not.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not
tough
easy.
too. Eldora's tough too, just because you're down in a bowl. I mean, you're not really paying attention to what's outside of those walls. You're just focusing on those walls. You're running right up on it, and
well, that's what I was gonna say.
It's
too,
hard to look too far inside too.
And a sprint car at Eldora, at least, like when it gets like feature time, when it's slick to the curb on the fence, like you miss your line by a right rear tire, you're gonna crash. So I think there's one thing. But like if you say you're at Attica or something like that, or Fremont, like you would probably be able to see somebody if you looked for them. But that's just because like your eye level, like where you're at on a straightaway, you're eye level with the guy you're looking at. You're not like looking up or looking down at him.
Right, and it probably hurts too having that wing board there. You're not going to see much on the outside. They have to be either on the inside of the track, or you've got to have them spotted out way ahead at the eye level, like you said.
Yeah, I do remember and it might be the wing board. I guess I never thought of it that way. Midget stuff, I could definitely see people or like pick things out, But with the wing car, at least I've never attempted to do it. So.
Yeah.
Cool. That's my question for you.
Let's bust this last would you rather out, the collective one, and then we'll get into the special ones for Justin. Would you rather fight a crocodile with a bow and arrow or fight an elephant with a shotgun?
Crocodile with a bow and arrow, for sure.
Yeah, I think you could. I think when he opens his mouth, you can get one right in his gob.
Yeah.
That might just fucking piss him off.
A shotgun to an elephant is not going to do anything. And they're fast. An elephant's probably faster than a crocodile.
Look, at least with a bow, like if you have multiple arrows, you could like fling an arrow, pop another one, fling an arrow, pop another one. Like with that elephant's just gonna like stomp your ass.
Yeah.
An African bush elephant can run 25 miles an hour.
Oh, I got this.
Where did you learn that?
He's our producer, so he's pulling stuff up on Google too.
And a saltwater crocodile is 15 to 18 miles an hour. An American crocodile is 20.
On land?
On land
or in water?
Yep.
I will say a crocodile will fuck you up though. If it gets a hold of you, you're fucking toast.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'd still take the bow and arrow with the crocodile.
I probably would too.
You archery hunt, right?
Huh? Me? No. I never really got into it. I rifle. Dano, I think, did some archery stuff, but I
have. I've got a turkey back there that I shot with a bow.
But I just never, I just don't have that much time to get in there and actually do the tracking and shit like that.
I don't really like compound bow hunt much anymore, just because I've had some like carpal tunnel issues and shit with my neck, and I can't really like rotator cuff make the rotation to pull a compound. But I've got a really nice crossbow now.
Junior high was rough on him, so
left-handed dude. Hey, I didn't have to do that shit, man. I played guitar.
See, you just gotta, at this point, you just use the opposite hand. You just buy yourself a little bit more time. It's just like using a parking meter. You just gotta buy yourself a little bit more time.
Yeah.
Somebody just asked, where's Miss Alex Peck? She's right here. Hold on.
Oh, yeah, Donald Perkins.
There she is.
Oh yeah, the Fireball Queen.
Yeah.
Fireball Queen. I'll drink some Fireball with it. That'd be fun. I like Fireball.
All right, so would you rather, this is for Justin only, or I guess other racers in the chat too, would you rather rip every tear off on one lap? God, Jesus, let me try that again. Words are hard. Would you rather rip every... I'm trying to hold that cough down too. Would you rather rip every tear off on lap one of a heat one that's juiced up, track is absolutely juiced, and have to use your glove to wipe it, or have a car that keeps popping out of gear, and the only way to drive it in the heat race is to hold it in gear and race with the other hand?
That one, I did the second one because at least I can see it. I can see where I'm going. It's not that bad right from one hand. I've done it before.
I have too. I was getting ready to say that. I haven't ran a heat race like that, but I've qualified. because my shit in the TQ kept popping out of gear, and I actually held it in gear with my right hand and drove with my left.
Oh, see, I've never had to do that, but I like if you like, you know how it goes. I mean, fuck, if you get blasted flap one and you rip 10 tear offs in one swing, it's like, well, you're just fighting it, and you're pussyfooting it because you don't really know where you're going or what you're looking at. At least if you're driving one-handed, you still attack. So I definitely say the second one.
Yeah, I had to, and this was old school. It wasn't like the little pop levers. It was a little T-handle. So you shove them down and you twist them. You know what I'm talking about? It was the old school ones. Mm-hmm. I had one that kept popping out of gear, and I actually had to shove it down, hold it down while I was qualifying and qualify with one hand. And it was at Rushville. It was our little fucking fairground track that was just a little bull ring anyway. So it was a handful. We didn't qualify like too bad, but it was better than not qualifying at all. I think we qualified like 12th or whatever, but not bad for one hand and one lap because it popped out when I went out for my original run. And they're like, we couldn't figure it out. And my uncle was like, you're just going to have to fucking hold it in gear with your hand.
Just drive that bastard.
Yeah, so they just let me go back out and take my one lap. And
fucking sand it.
That's the one that counted. So
I drive with one hand on iRacing, and I do that by accident.
I do too.
The guys I was racing with, shout out to the Indy Esports race team. They said, we only drive basically with your right hand as kind of a guide. And so I was actually holding on to my beer that I was drinking at one time. And they were like, I was like, shit, I got to go qualify. And so I go out and I'm fucking holding my beer with one hand. And I went and qualified, and I qualified like third quick. And then I won my heat race with one hand. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm fast as fuck with one hand.
Just do that all the time.
Yeah, that's what I started doing. I'll literally sit here with my hand on my fat ass gut and fucking just go ripping around virtually in iRacing with one fucking hand, dude. I'm fucking hauling ass.
That's about what we used to do a long time ago on iRacing too. We'd get on here and fuck around in some of these hosted races and just drink. And you could always tell when I was about petered out, because if we get into some of those hosted races, you could always tell when I was hurt, because the more cautions we had, the more time I had to sit there and drink in between the laps. And then like it was just an absolute shit show after that point. I told them, I'm like, you guys got to square this shit up because I'm getting torqued out. Like, we're not even
That's
halfway
actually how
yet.
John and I met, was through iRacing.
Yeah.
Nice.
During COVID. Yep,
during COVID. Crazy.
All right. Last would you rather for Justin. This one's kind of a funny one. Would you rather go back in time and go toe-to-toe with Damian Gardner for your early dismissal in the Saturday B main at the Chili Bowl, or have to have the responsibility to wake your brother Travis up every day for a month straight?
Now, can it be current time now? Can it be current?
Let him get done coughing.
Yeah, I'm dying. I don't know how big. Let me ask you this: how big of a pain in the ass is Travis to wake up now versus what he used to be? Because I got fair warnings before we left for the Chili Bowl one night there at your house not to wake Travis up because he was an asshole. And I have an Instagram post still of me waking little Travis up, and I was like, "Hey man, it's time to go to the Chili Bowl." And he's like, oh, okay. And he just hops up out of bed like no fucking problem. You guys acted like I was walking in a fucking bear's cave or something.
It's only because you did it. If I did it or my mom did it or somebody, he was going to come out swinging. Like, he was going to be pissed. But he gets up before me now. He gets up way before I do. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to take getting Travis out of bed.
But back in the recent days, let's go back to the same day, to the time traveling back to DG or waking Travis up.
I'm still going to take Travis because Damon and I are buddies now, so it's all good.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, at that time, though, man, God, I was so fired up. So fired up.
It was brutal. And and in that situation too, it was just an inherent lane change out of nowhere, and it was like, well, that just ruined our Chili Bowl.
It did.
And I was really irritated about it, because then we go over there and I'm like, Damien, what the fuck was that all about? And he goes, you think I'm gonna lift to save you? I was like, no, I think you're gonna fucking hold the wheel straight one time in a while. Like, what are we doing?
Well, and the problem was like they were taking top 6 at that time. That's when it was still 5 nights. Or no, 4. It was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So they're taking 6 to go to the feature that night, or for Saturday night, and we're running through 3rd and 4th. It's like I think that was the hardest part is, it's just not like we were running for that final transfer spot. I mean, it was 4 laps into the B main, running 3rd and 4th, and he just like, and I don't think I would have been so pissed off if it would have happened over in 1 and 2. But it was the fact that we were all standing there on the ramp, at the bottom of the ramp, and it happened right in front of us, and like you took out the whole fucking fence, it took out the whole light, and there was plenty of time to just sit there and get pissed off and stew on it because they had the fence repair, and it's just like, I don't know, man, it was just a lot of emotions right there. Like you work your ass off all week, you know, and we were set on kill, and then that, and I'm just like, God damn it, man. I was ready to go to war for you, I can tell you that.
What you're telling me is that's typical Damian Gardner shit.
I don't know so much anymore, but yeah, I mean, to him when we talked to him about it, he was just like, yeah, I did it, you know, fuck it, whatever. Like it's almost like he didn't care, you know, and that was one of those deals that was just frustrating about it. You good? You there?
Hello?
Something's going on here. Microphone.
We can hear you still.
Yeah, we can hear you still.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Something messed up.
See, his internet's fucked up too. It's not just mine.
That's okay. Mine's good tonight, so fuck
all right. So we've got about 10 minutes probably. So if the chat has any questions for Justin, now's your time. I didn't think we saw anything fire up in the chat there for a while. He's been pretty gracious as a guest, so I'm sure you could probably ask him anything other than how big his dick is. We know how big his balls are because he goes really, really fast and drives a 410 sprint car. Now's your time.
Yeah.
Ask away.
So if there's anybody that's got questions, fire them off in the chat here.
Do you have anything you want to ask us, Justin? Like in our 2-hour conversation here, like I think we've pretty much covered it all.
Nah. Yeah, not really. I think I'm all good.
Right on, John. Is there anything you want to ask me?
To ask you? Fuck no.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. I don't have anything to ask you either.
Here's one from Jeff Browning in the chat. Where did Justin start racing? Like what kind of car?
Quarter midgets. So like first races I ran were at Mini Indy Fairgrounds in Indianapolis.
That's awesome. Yeah. Is that a thing again? Because I know that it kind of like acted like it was going to go away, or there just wasn't the help or interest anymore. But
yeah,
I did see some posts that it's back. So I don't know if somebody picked up the slack and was helped fund that deal. But how many years did you run quarter midgets?
5. So I quit when I was 10. Like I ran quarter midgets when I was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then I only ran, I think pretty much when I was 10, I only ran like the grands, like the big, like the national events.
That's cool. How many of those are there a year? I never ran quarter midgets. Like I didn't get started racing till I was 15 or 16, like when it was in the TQ stuff. So like all the go-karts and quarter midgets and mini sprints, like I kind of bypassed that whole part.
Yeah, like so when I was still doing it, it was QMA sanctioned, so Quarter Midgets of America. Well, now I believe QMA still, but it's primarily USAC dominant now, USAC sanctioned.
Right.
So for them, they have a little bit different schedule than like what I ran. But like when I did it, there was 3 national events a year. We called them grands, and then there was an East and a West, and then there was a dirt. And gotcha. I actually only ran 1 dirt grands. I didn't actually run them, which is funny to think about now.
Yeah, especially where you're at.
Yeah.
Now talking about kind of tracks, there's another question here coming from Rex Hewitt. What are your favorite tracks? I think we could, I don't know, just for the sake of it, I mean, if you've got a pretty hefty list, we could do top 3, top 5, like of your favorite tracks to race at.
I'll do 5. So I can say that for sure number 1 is Kokomo, and there's no doubt about it.
I love it.
My favorite racetrack in the country. It's my favorite racetrack I've been to in the world. And then I'm gonna say
any specific car. I mean, do you like running the wing car there? Because I've heard the wing car around Kokomo sucks, but I know how a midget races around Kokomo, and it's fucking fun.
I really liked running a wing car at Kokomo. I think it's way gnarlier than running. I run non-wing sprint car. I've run midget. I've run 305. I've run 410 there. And 410 wing sprint cars are fucking insane. I mean, you're just on the gas and you're doing the same thing you're doing in the non-wing and the midget stuff, but you're just wide the fuck open the whole time. So it's pretty gnarly. Yeah, way more chaotic. It's way faster pace. It's way more like, holy fuck, I got to twitch here and twitch there and get out of this. But for sure, Kokomo, and then Tulare is pretty badass. Tulare Thunderbolt.
Tulare Thunderbolt,
yeah. I like Lincoln Speedway in Pennsylvania. I like Bridgeport in New Jersey, and Red Dirt Raceway is pretty badass. I've only been there once, so I don't know if I can really put it in the top 5, but that was a pretty cool joint. I really like Eldora too, so it'd be somewhere, That's
pretty cool though.
That's
pretty cool that you've traveled like on the national circuit though, and it all comes back to Indiana, man. It always kind of comes back home.
Yeah.
Even and I noticed you do have some Pennsylvania and some East Coast shit up there from when you were staying in Pennsylvania, but it is pretty cool to just see how your roots are back here still, and it is pretty nice just because we're all from Indiana, and there's people that are all across this country that love dirt track racing and don't realize how incredible like the tracks and stuff are around here.
Like how legit the racing is and stuff too. Like how exciting it can be.
Like people come from across the country to live in Indiana.
Yeah, I got a couple people that live out on the West Coast, and when we first started playing video games, I told them, I said, hey, I said, I'm not gonna be on tonight. I'm going to the racetrack, and they were like, oh, fucking racing's boring, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, yeah, racing's boring, but like, here, let me send you a video of a fucking 1,250-pound fucking race car with 1,000 horsepower throwing a fucking slider on a dude, parking it on his nose, and then doing a fucking wheelie down the backstretch. And meanwhile, the guy that he just threw the slider on is getting fucking pelted in the face with dirt. And he's fucking pissed, and then they do it all again the next set of corners. Like, where else can you fucking get that shit other than Indiana?
For 30 laps.
For 30 fucking laps. Anywhere on the racetrack. Like, it's just great.
And like, kind of go back to your favorite track, that's probably how Kokomo is. I mean, it's just so fast-paced, and it's still so small, but people are just everywhere. And it is one of those darty tracks that there's so many different lines you can run, and the banking's tall enough that you can sail it in high in 3 and then squirt clean across the banking to try and catch the bottom. Like people are just crossing over and doing all kinds of different lines.
I love that
just
shit,
to be
man.
fast there. And it's incredible. Kokomo is such a fun place to watch any form of racing, I feel like. So
hell yeah. That's a good choice, Justin. I like that. Kokomo being at the top, that's a good choice, yeah. I mean, it's good for any type of fucking racing at all. I mean, fucking late models, fucking modifieds. I mean,
yeah, midgets were really badass around there too. That's where I fell in love with Kokomo, was running midgets there. But obviously, since then I've run different kinds of sprint cars and stuff. But I'd say wing sprint car was number 1, then midgets, and then non-wing cars.
Yeah, I love midgets there and Montpelier. I loved Montpelier.
I liked Montpelier too. I will say that I feel like I kind of learned how to race a little bit in Montpelier, and I love that place too.
It feels like it's one of those underrated tracks where a lot of people cut their teeth. I mean, it's a fast, fun, racy joint too. Let's see, new questions here. Who is your favorite racer? This came from my mom.
It's hard to say. Like, I really liked Joey Saldana when I was like growing up watching the World Outlaw stuff.
Yeah.
And I liked Clausen a lot, and I liked Poncho Carter because my dad was a big Poncho Carter fan. I liked Dale Sr. a lot. So, I mean, just different forms of racing, I guess. I had a lot of different favorites.
Do you have somebody now that you race with was kind of, I guess, somebody that you looked up to, somebody that you were like idolized and was just like, man, that's going to be cool as shit to race with him. And now it's just like, fuck that guy. I could beat him every night.
Well, it was Lance DeWeese. Like, I would still say Lance DeWeese is probably someone I would say was one of my heroes, just because.
That's cool.
He was, at least when I started racing, he was an old guy. I mean, he's an old guy now, obviously, but he was an old guy then even, and he would just fucking come in, get the job done. And since I've been watching sprint car racing, he's won like 5 Tuscarora 50s, and like 3 national opens. Like, dude just gets in and gets it done.
That's awesome. I don't see any more questions coming in after this last one. If anybody has any more questions, last call. My dad has one here. If money isn't a factor at all, what kind of race car do you like best to go out and run? What would you run for the rest of your life if money wasn't even an option?
Probably still 410 sprint cars, just because I know it. I mean, I've done it, but I really want to do Formula. I really want to race at Monaco. Like, I would be really badass to do Formula One at Monaco.
That'd be sweet.
Nice. You can do that in iRacing.
So I mean, do you have any? Yeah. Do you have any like intentions to ever want to move up, or are you happy, you know, making a living and here in the 410 level?
Yeah, I mean, it would be cool to go run Indy 500. Like, I still kind of want to try and do something like that, like try and get my foot in the door.
Yeah.
You know, to do some IndyCar stuff. I don't really even want to do it full time. I just kind of want to run Indianapolis, but. Yeah, I mean, maybe at some point, you know, my brother's a mechanic at McLaren now. Who works on Alexander Rossi's car, so and maybe hopefully he'll get me in the door over there.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
It's not about what you know, it's who you know, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's a different world over there, man. Like when I was working for Andretti's, like that opened up so many horizons for me just in the learning. It just, you know, coming from just a little local mom and pa team working on our TQs and stuff, and then going to work for them full time and like doing it for a living, like it just changes so much. I mean, and that's what we were talking about here before we even got this deal going on if I was going to race anymore. And it's just like to do it right and to do it at the level I did and to know, you know, how to comfortably do it and make it fun and worth it. It takes, people don't realize how much time, you know, it's not even, you know, somebody could cut you a check right now and without hiring somebody to do the work for you, like just to know and do it right and have trust in what's going on to make sure your shit's right every week, every race. It's a lot, dude. It is. It's a lot. And I know I just don't have that time to do it anymore with the family and everything. Your dad, like it's one of those deals that if I could go back and I knew that I could do it, I know your dad had called me many a times to try and come work for you guys full time and travel with you and to even live with you guys up in Pennsylvania. And it was just one of those deals where I had done kind of settled in back in Indiana and I loved working for your family, and I wish it would have been in Indiana because it would have made that decision incredibly fucking hard if you were local. But to pack up and just leave to go to Pennsylvania, it wasn't going to be doable for me.
Yeah, that was when I was driving for Pete Grove. I remember that. That was we were looking for full-time guys, and that was the crazy thing. When I was driving the 70 car, like we were running the all-star stuff, but we were doing, you know, all the outlaw stuff. I mean, we were full-time racing, you know how it goes, and it was pretty much just like I was in the shop every day. Like I pretty much moved out there, and it was almost Western Pennsylvania. Like it was in Ohio, but it was like pretty much on the border over there. And it was like just basically me, and then I had his son Alex, and Alex who now runs he pretty much Grove stuff now, like completely.
Right.
It was just us, but Alex was in he had just graduated high school, and he's going to, you know, his first year of college. Like, so long story short, I mean, it was for me most of the day, and then when Alex got off school, I'd get him, and then it was like that was it, and that was a whole new ballpark for me, was trying to figure out how in the fuck I was going to take care of all that shit. And we really needed to hire a guy, and we did end up getting a guy or two here and there eventually, but yeah, it would have been really cool to work with you. That would have been a lot of fun to do that full time.
We had a lot of fun not even doing it on national circuit, just working on the midgets and going out to the Chili Bowl. And like, it's still like I don't have a whole lot of feathers in my cap, but I've got the Chili Bowl A-main with you and your dad, and that was really special to see. I mean, because we were out there just having fun, man. Like outside of the racetrack, we were fucking chilling in the hot tub doing pudding shots and Jello shots, and you know, having a good old fucking time. And then we were one of those teams that I felt like just, I don't know, we weren't money dominant. I mean, it was a family operation. It truly was. It was your guys' family car, and to put that in the game was really special, man. It was really special. But so I got one more car, or one more question. We're cut it off here. Rex Hewitt wants to know how much say do you have over the car, like what to do or whatnot. So if there's something that needs to happen on the car and you and the crew chief are discussing it, and you guys both have kind of opposite opinions, what's the swing vote? I mean, does your vote count over top of his, or do you just kind of agree to disagree and let him make the change and see what happens?
Yeah, so like on the 13 stuff, like what I do full time, I pretty much just kind of give my opinion on what I think the car's feeling like. Like I don't really have an opinion on like what adjustments are being made with that deal. My crew chief Sean's really good at what he does, and I mean we all, sometimes the car's not great. Well, whatever. Sometimes I don't.
Right.
I don't run a good race either. So it's not. It just is what it is at that point. But I'm gonna say 8 times out of 10, my car's usually pretty good with that thing, and I don't really have to say a whole lot. We work together long enough now. I can kind of just tell him what I'm thinking or what I'm feeling, and we're pretty in tune with our package, so we kind of have a really good idea of what direction we need to go. But with other deals, I mean, like stuff like when I was in Australia, I was driving for Domain Ramsey, and it kind of got to the point where I was just kind of making the decisions on what we were doing over there with that kind of stuff. And like when I go out and run for like Clayton Snow, go run Trophy Cup and stuff like that, like we work pretty well together too. Like we kind of bounce things off each other and just kind of come to a middle ground of what we're talking about, and that's kind of direction we're going to go. So it just varies between team to team, and just kind of depends on what if you're going to race full time for a team and you run 100 races a year, you can pretty much just rely on the crew chief for the most part because you're on the same page. But when you're just running for somebody a couple times, your opinion usually has more of a say.
Right, just to get you comfortable, because, I get that. I understand that 100%. That's awesome. Well, dude, that's all I got. Daniel, you got anything else?
I don't think so, man. I know you probably got some sponsors out there that you would like to thank. And what's your next plan of action as far as the next race you're going to? What's your schedule looking like for like the next couple weeks?
Next race will be at Riverside, April 9th, high limit. That starts a pretty good little southern swing. We'll be at Red Dirt, and I don't even remember where else the hell we're going. But yeah, anyway, we'll be down there doing Riverside, and I know we're going to Red Dirt, which I'm looking forward to. So it'll be a pretty good little swing, and then that'll take us through till May pretty much, and then we'll be back at Kokomo. So looking forward to that one too.
Hell yeah, dude. Why don't you run down your list of sponsors, give them some love.
Yeah, we got, Vonnie Windows and Doors is a big supporter of mine and a good supporter of 13 as well. And, Big Spring Car Wash and Water Treatment by Design and Coastal Race Parts are, the main guys that kind of get us up and down the road. And we've got good partners in Jake's Custom Carts and RKL Paving and Speed Toys and Genmore Florists as well. So, all those guys have, earned a spot on our team. I say earned a spot. They've all chosen to be a part of our team in one way or another, and they've been with us for multiple years now. So it's we have a pretty good little group of partners.
Right on, cool.
That's pretty badass, dude.
Yeah, man. It's all about them sponsors. Those are the guys that give us race cars, man. It's not the guy in the seat; it's the guy on the side of the car that gives us race cars.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of those, we got some of our own we're going to thank here. Hedrick's Lawn and Landscaping. He's getting geared up here to get everything ready to go for the spring season, they're already mowing yards and getting landscaping stuff done. So they've got special deals for them. 10% off anything that they do if you tell them that we sent you. Then Murray's Automotive Detailing and Performances. He's still got the 30-30 deal going on, so you get $30 oil changes on all smaller vehicles, not your trucks and stuff. That's still going to cost a little bit more. Then 30% off on any full details. Then we have Roofs by Ooley. He said he would do $500 off any roofs that he does. So if you let him get a roof done by Roofs by Ooley, then let him know that we sent you. You'll automatically get $500 off. And then last but not least, Gray Auto. So if you talk to Brandon, Brenton, or Jordan there at Gray Auto, buy a new or used car, you will get 2 free oil changes upon purchase. So big thank you to them. That helps. They help out tremendously on keeping this thing going. So we can come on here and be a bunch of idiots every fucking week. So
you go on here and act stupid.
Yeah. So big thank you to them. So cool. That's it.
Right
That's
on.
a podcast. That's an episode. I'm gonna go medicate myself and go to sleep since I gotta be up 4:30 in the morning. Big thank you to Justin for coming on, man. It's great to sit down and catch up with you again. We like watching you and keeping up that way, but it's a little different when we can kind of sit here and relive it, reminisce a little bit, and it's cool to see how far you've come, man. I'm pretty proud of you.
Yeah, thanks, fellas. Thanks for having me on, man. It was good talking to you guys.
Yeah, before we go, what's your social medias like Twitter and Facebook and all that, where people can get a hold of you?
Yeah, Facebook's Justin Peck Racing, and then Twitter and Instagram are Justin_Peck5.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you guys for being here. Justin, thank you again, man. It's been a pleasure. It's nice to meet you. Hopefully I'll get to shake hands with you one day, sometime soon, hopefully.
Yes, sir. Look forward to it.
Awesome, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for everything you do on the racetrack, and we'll be rooting for you, and go faster.
That's always the game plan, baby.
Right. All right. I love it. Everybody in the chat, thank you for being here. This has been the Just Got Off podcast, episode number 16. Like the caption says, let's go fast. Have a great Monday. Have a great week, and we will see you next Sunday. Adios.
Peace out, guys.
Have a good week, guys. See you soon.
See you guys.